All right, we're going to get started in just a minute. We just turned the music down. Awesome. Okay. I want to welcome you out to today's Chamber Lunch. We're excited to have you here today for Mayor Pike's State of the City. This is always a lunch that we look forward to, always a great opportunity to gather as a community, hear what's been accomplished over the last year, and some pretty awesome things I'm sure to come. I tried to ride a scooter over here because I thought on the 1-year anniversary of the announcement that would be awesome. Plus, I could not find parking, as I'm sure many of you couldn't find close parking. So thank you for bearing with us and being here regardless of the parking situation. We'd like to start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. By way of introduction, my name is Don Willie. I'm the CEO of the St. George Area Chamber of Commerce. We've got a lot of new faces here that may not have been to chamber lunches in the past, so we welcome you. This is a fantastic partnership between the chamber and the city to host this event and to bring together our top leaders in the community for the mayor's address. I want to just make a few announcements. First, I think many of you have been hearing this at registration. Starting on March 1st, we're no longer going to be invoicing for lunches, and so we ask that you register ahead of time or be prepared with a credit card at the door to pay for your lunch. So we apologize for any inconvenience. We are working on a punch card situation, so you can buy 12, 24 lunches at a time and just have a punch card for it, electronic of course. But just wanted to make that announcement as some have been hearing that at the check-in table. Upcoming events that we have this weekend, we're excited to have the Ignite conference with the Women's Influence Center. Who's registered for that? By show of hands. Awesome. We are excited for this fantastic event. We encourage you to register. I think we're getting close to capacity, so register soon. But that is the 8th up at Dixie Tech. It'll be a fantastic conference with our Women's Influence Center. On February 12th, our next lunch, we're excited to have Dr. Tasha Toy, who is the Chief Diversity Officer here at Dixie State University. We are excited for that. That will once again be up at Dixie Tech. And we look forward to a discussion around how businesses can focus on and utilize diversity within their teams to enhance their business growth. We have the 4th annual networking event. It's a collaboration between Allies and BNI in the Chamber. And there's one more. Who am I missing? Who's our 4th in there? She Sparks, that's it, sorry. So She Sparks, that'll be on February 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. At the Hilton Garden Inn, and you can find more information, of course, about all these events on our website. And lastly, we only have 4 slots left for our spring golf league. So if you are interested in signing up for that, it starts in April, please talk to Tammy or Carissa or myself, and we'll get you signed up for that. So I apologize for the updates, but want to make sure everyone's informed. We are now excited to move on to our program, and we are lucky to have a musical number first. And so I just want to invite the Stage Door Theater performers to come on out. We're delighted to have these performers in advance of their main event, of our main event today, the Mayor's State of the State Address. And this is from their new production, Mamma Mia. Who's seen Mamma Mia? Who's familiar with it? It's an awesome production, and we're excited to have it here in town. This story is of a young woman's search for her birth father, told through the hit songs of ABBA. Mamma Mia will play at the Electric Theater from February 13th to the 29th. Please join me in welcoming their team out.
It's a really good song, I promise.
Yeah. Stay away from this.
Can we roll the music, please? Can we roll the music? Mama mia, attack.
Okay, while we're waiting, I guess we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Katie Gardner, and I am one of the ones who plays Sophie, the girl who's looking for her father. Yeah, I'm 17. I'm currently a senior at Desert Hills High School, and yeah.
I'm Lainey McDonald, and I also play Sophie.
I'm Mason Stevens, and I play Sky.
And I'm Ivan Odom, and I also play Sky.
And I'm Kathy Ford. I play Donna, Sophie's mother.
I did this big long introduction, and they can't even be bothered.
Where's Ed Tracy? Ed, you should come up here and entertain us for a minute.
I know.
We're going to improvise, but in the meantime, just so you know, Mamma Mia plays at the Electric Theater February 13th through the 29th. There's a special 15% off coupon code that's up at the table for chamber members. So if you're interested in going, make sure you use that coupon code. If they can't get this working, we're going to go ahead and use just an iPad, and we'll see what happens.
plug it into her iPad.
Okay, we're undecided. Are you like 19 or 23?
Some issues when he's speaking.
Okay.
Come back to it. Sorry, guys. Not enough and now too much, right? Okay, well, we apologize for the technical difficulties there. We're going to work through that and see what we can get to. But we're excited now to be able to hear from the mayor and the State of the State address. We get from that. Mayor Pike was elected to the St. George City Council in 2007 and became mayor of St. George in 2013. Among his many duties, Mayor Pike serves on the boards of Dixie State University, Washington County Water Conservancy District, St. George Area Economic Development, and is the past president of the Utah League of Cities and Towns, which is a pretty big deal for us to have had him in that position. This is the 6th time addressing the Chamber of Commerce in the State of the City address. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mayor Pike.
You're the boss. Thank you. Thank you, Don. It's great to be with you today. Could I just sing an ABBA song? Thank you for the music, you know. We will hear from them again. And sorry those things didn't work out. It's fun to kind of showcase some of our theater folks here locally. It is amazing the talent we have in this community. So anyway, I would like to start off with this. Instead of saving it for the end, I want you to all know that the state of our city is vibrant and strong, and that our future is bright. So I want to start off with that. I hope you feel the same. I would like to, first of all, welcome my wife, my partner, my best friend, and she doesn't like this, but the First Lady of the City of St. George, Christy Pike. Also like to welcome Belinda and Adam Lenhard. Stand up, Belinda and Adam, would you? Adam is our city manager, and in just a couple days, they'll celebrate their 2nd anniversary here as the city manager. Thank you for coming and making St. George your home. We love Adam, and he's brought so much to our city. We're grateful for you and Belinda. It's a package deal, and we're grateful for that. I also want to welcome and to our city council today. Would you all stand, please? I'm going to show you something later, a picture, but we'll show you a picture later and say a little bit more. I also want to welcome all of our city leadership team, our department heads. Would you all stand? Department heads. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And all of our city staff, please stand. We do have a few city staff here. It is a pleasure to get to serve with these amazing people. I would also like to welcome today our two of our three county commissioners. Victor, where'd you end up? There's Victor Iverson. Commissioner, thank you. Commissioner Gil Almquist seated up here. And all of our other county staff and leadership, thank you for being here. Our newest, just named today, to soon be the interim county attorney, Eric Clark, is here. Thank you for being here, Eric. Brock Belknap is not going far, but he is going up the road a bit to be the attorney of the Washington County Water Conservancy District. Also, I want to welcome my colleagues. Mayor Chris Hart, would you be recognized? City of Ivans. Kenny Nielsen, Mayor of Washington. Did I see you, Kenny? They're the ones I knew were coming. Any other mayors here? Yes? No. Kevin, you mayor? Okay, no, just kidding. And of course, I want to welcome, and really, I thank him for welcoming us to this campus, President Biff Williams. And First Lady of the University, Kristen Williams. And all of his staff. Thank you so much for your leadership. What a pleasure to get to be on this thriving, robust campus that makes parking difficult. We're glad for that problem. There will be more parking coming, trust me. So thank you so much, President, for hosting us. Also, President Kelly Stevens, Dixie Technical College. I saw you. Where'd you end up, Kelly? Oh, right there. And some of her staff. Thank you for being here, Kelly. The city's mission is to provide services that focus on people and that advance a thriving community. And that is our goal. I hope that's what you'll see today as you see a little bit about what we've done in the last year. I look at this as a make good, as an opportunity for you to see what we've been doing in the last year, and I hope it jives with what you saw last year as what was going to happen ahead. You'll see, I'm sure, on your table, this little sheet, and it does exactly that. On one side, you'll see 2019 accomplishments, and the other side, you'll see 2020, more happening ahead. That's what we try to do with this, is give you a little bit of a flavor, only a little bit. We don't have time to hit everything, but I assure you, it's been a busy 2019. So, I'd like to just take a minute and honor the man on this screen, Joe Bocut, who passed away unexpectedly, and he's left a huge void in our city and in our city leadership. And how many of you, I'm just curious, how many of you knew or had some contact with Joe Bocut? Isn't that something? Let's give him and his family a round of applause for his service. Thank you for all standing. That's something we can all agree on. Appreciate Joe. What an incredible human being. I'd like to introduce, by this new picture, our 3 new council members, but all 5 in this picture. Jimmy Hughes, stand, would you, Jimmy? He is our senior council member and mayor pro tem. Everyone give Jimmy a round of applause, would you? Michelle Randall, next in line. Would you stand? and then Brian Smethurst, who replaced Joe Bocut and is Joe's stepson. Greg MacArthur. Anyone know Greg MacArthur around here? And, of course, Danielle Larkin. Danielle, thank you. Once again, I am so privileged to get to serve with these people. They're just absolutely amazing. Okay, let me just ask a quick question before we go on. Does anyone have a birthday today? Seriously? What's your name? Amy? Brian, do you have a birthday today? Yes. Anyone else? We're going to sing happy birthday to Amy and Brian in that order. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amy and Brian. Happy birthday to you. All right. Sorry, Brian and Amy had to do it. So a few months ago, we had a little party wearing pink. I just want to recognize Michelle Randall, Councilmember Randall, who announced that she had breast cancer, and she faced it like she faces everything, head on, rock solid, and she just said, "Look out, cancer." And so this was sort of the rallying of the troops around her, family and city colleagues, and I appreciate her doing this the way she did as a personal, obviously very personal war against a deadly disease, but also as a community service to highlight the importance of getting mammograms and of paying attention to your health. It would not have been caught probably without that. And so thank you, Michelle, for being a great example of focusing on our health and of tackling problems even as difficult as cancer head on. Thank you, Michelle. We're glad you're doing well. No one fights alone is what the t-shirts say. Want to thank Lexi Peary actually at the Spectrum for doing a nice write-up on this. You might have seen it recently in the Spectrum. Well, here's where I hand it over for a few minutes to Adam Lenhart, our city manager. Adam, come on up. I'll leave it at that. Again, two years where it feels like yesterday, and yet it feels like he's been here forever. Appreciate you being here, Adam.
Oh, is it on now? No. All right, thank you, Mayor. Well, good afternoon again. There was a part of me that thought it would be really funny today to grab a chair and set it up behind Mayor Pike while he was speaking and just tear up paper. I thought that would have been pretty funny. But then I remembered, no, I really like this guy. We get along really well. In fact, I love working with him. It's great to share the stage with him for a few minutes today. It has been my privilege to work for the city for about 2 years now, and I've loved every minute of it. Mayor, very kind words earlier. Thank you. Of course, any accolades I've ever received belong squarely to my team, and I've just never worked with a finer group of people. I am a huge fan of our tagline here at the city. I think you've seen it, the brighter side. I've loved that ever since the first time I saw it. To me, it perfectly captures our optimism, our activity, prosperity, even the great weather that we enjoy here. It's just better in St. George. Those of us who work for the city have what I would consider to be a pretty sweet gig because we are all at least partly responsible for being involved in projects that are designed to make our city an even better place to live, to improve the quality of life for the people who live here, who visit, and who do business here. And I think that's important. We love what we do. On behalf of everyone who works for the city, I want to take a moment and just express our gratitude for the opportunity that we have of serving the community. Our organization now consists of over 700 full-time employees and then another 500 or so who work with us part-time. We're spread across 9 different departments, and we work everywhere from City Hall to the airport to the wastewater treatment plant, to the animal shelter, and everywhere in between. We are your Suntran drivers, your junior jazz scorekeepers, we're your linemen who work for the electric utility, we're your golf course mechanics, your firefighters, your police officers, your accountants, your attorneys, and so much more. I think just about everybody here probably has a connection to the city. You know somebody who works for the city. Maybe it's a friend or a neighbor or even a family member. And I do want to, again, recognize our employees, the finest group of people I've ever worked with. And we have a lot more who aren't with us in this room today. They're off-site watching the live stream, and we appreciate them so much. Now, that said, we don't have any goals or aspirations to reach a certain number of employees. We're not trying to grow to be a certain size company. That's not what drives us. That's not what we're about. But we do take pride in what we do, and we value doing things at a high level. There are few cities in Utah, or in the entire country for that matter, that provide the variety and range of municipal services that we provide in-house at St. George. And I think that's a great tribute to our wonderful mayor and city council and to our employees. Yes, we are proud of our work, but I will also add that there's room for improvement in everything we do, and it starts right in the city manager's office. We want to be better, so we invite your feedback. We ask you to tell us how we're doing and how we can better serve you. That is what we're about, and that is something that we aspire to. Our goal is to provide world-class service in everything we do. As far as the city's finances go, we pride ourselves on being fiscally responsible. We've worked hard for many years to steadily build our reserves in our general fund. These reserves are what we sometimes refer to as our rainy day fund. It protects the city in case of emergency or natural disaster or economic downturn. It's strong financial planning, and we're pleased with the position that we find ourselves in. We're also required by law to have a balanced budget. We don't do any of that deficit spending that you hear about with the federal government. We stay within our budget while at the same time being able to accomplish some really remarkable projects throughout the city, which the mayor gets to go over today. I'll close with this. We couldn't do what we do without our partners. We are so appreciative of your support. There are so many of you here. It's wonderful to see you in the room, and just want to tell you how grateful we are for the relationship that we have with you. Again, we thank you for your support. You know who you are, and it is so special to be able to work with you. To everyone here or tuning in today, hope you enjoy the rest of the presentation as Mayor Pike shares some fun things with us. We appreciate our association, and it is truly an honor for us to be able to serve the community. Thank you again, and back to you, Mayor Pike.
Thanks. Thank you, Adam. That was perfect. You should know that when it comes to budget, and Adam didn't get into specific numbers, you couldn't see them anyway on the screen, but we are, as he said, we keep within our budget, and we are nearly at the limit of what the state allows us to save for a rainy day, and what's called our fund balance. And so that is something we'll be to. We also have other sort of savings accounts, if you will, that help us with capital projects, one-time types of projects, and it's a great position to be in. As you can tell from just Adam's brief discussion with us here today, he has infused us with optimism, with great capacity and intellect, and with leadership. We love that he's doing that. Let's give him a round of applause if we could. Well, we have lots of fun, lots of activities, as you know, around the city. Just wanted to capture a few of those. Oh, there's the slide about our rainy day fund. It can happen. Once in a while, we get rain in St. George. Want to just do a quick shout out to our public safety folks in terms of things going on. We appreciate Officers Tiffany Atkin and also Andy Mickelson, who probably has some of the best hair in St. George. And but they do a great job with our public relations outreach through their Facebook videos, and which includes their Motor Minute. I hope you get a chance to see that and ask questions and give feedback. We have a great team. You can see them, some of our officers dressed in pink there at the Tough Enough to Wear Pink night at the Dixie Roundup Rodeo, which is one of our favorite things to do, and theirs too. And our fire department is, it's interesting. For many, many years, we were solely a volunteer fire department. Our growth has necessitated having full-time firefighters. And so, and by the way, we have retired this fire engine. It's only used for funerals and parades, but it's a great one. We hired, because of acquiring what's called a federal SAFER grant last year, we were able to hire 9 new firefighters to help staff our newest, actually it's an existing station, Station 6, 2450 East, on the east side of town, to make that a full-time, day and night staffed fire station because of all the growth on the east side. As we get to the future, we'll talk about how we'll need to staff another fire station soon. Also, I just want to hit a few highlights on the development side of things. Every year we think, just like President Williams and President Stevens on the education side of things, and Larry Bergeson at the school district, we keep thinking it's going to slow down. It really doesn't. It's just, you can see the numbers maybe there, but close to 1,000 new building permits for single-family homes for the last 3 years. It's been very similar, maybe just up a little bit. And then you can see townhomes and condos and apartments. Again, you see a few years ago it was only 150 units, then 330, 318. Have you seen some of those going up? Yes, we have, and that's a need that the market has filled, and we appreciate our builders for doing that and taking a close look at the market and the products that they could offer. What's interesting, you see the commercial is significant as well, and you've seen that occurring. And then at the bottom line, it shows the valuation. Those are high numbers, folks. 3 years in a row, there's been a lot of activity in building and new development that we're pleased to have seen. The market, in a way, in my opinion, has caught up to demand over the last few years. So that's just a little bit of a snapshot of that side of things. I'd like to see if we can get there. It's going. Just want to do a little flyover. Does this look familiar? This is downtown. That's the Avenir, the Marriott Signature Hotel. Let's see, it's about 60 beds, as I recall. A boutique-type hotel. I hope you have a chance to go in there and to see the Wood, Ash, and Rye restaurant and eat there. And you'll see also shown now in the video some of the apartments. There are 110 apartments. These are nice apartments. And the section that is already finished is all rented up. And the next section will start soon. This is Jewel Plaza, down the street a little bit, the former Wilkinson Electric property. 197 apartments. Again, their first phase is complete. They've already rented what they have. Both of these projects are what we call mixed use, so there's retail or office on the ground floor, and then on the top 4 or 5 floors, then you have apartments, helping to fill a need downtown and to make it more vibrant and have that work, play, live, work, play, and I'd say dine downtown St. George. So we're excited for those developments. Here you just see some still shots of the Avenir. It's fantastic. If you haven't been in there, you got to go in. It's gorgeous. I'm not sure who coined it, but I kind of like it. We call it pioneer chic, and it is. When you go in there, you'll see a nod to our history, which I love that PEG Development and the Marriott Corporation bought off on, and that they delivered that. Down the street again, a still shot of Jewel Plaza. It's really fun. You get up high, and the president knows how this works. You get up on the 4th or 5th floor. It's fun to see a new view of St. George beginning to take place. Shifting gears, last year, Shane McAfee, raise your hand. Shane is our Director of Leisure Services. He and his team did an incredible master plan process for arts, parks, trails, and recreation. And thanks to you and so many other people with online surveys, in-person focus groups, and open houses, we got great feedback and input on what the next 10 or 15 years ought to look like in terms of those areas of our city. So we've done a lot in the past years, and you'll see us doing more in the future, hopefully in alignment with the will of the people. You can see here, actually he's called Egghead by artist, let's see if I say it right, Kimber Fiebiger, and along with around 25 others, they allow us to, through the Art Around the Corner organization, Susan Jarvis, are you here somewhere in your team? Raise your hands. Yeah, don't we love Art Around the Corner? Marianne Hamilton. We appreciate having an outdoor public art gallery that allows us to, for a year, have those roughly 25, could be more, sculptures on loan and for sale, I might add, for us, and then it rotates out with a new group of sculptures. This one is a fun one, and there's no controversy, I hope, in Egghead, okay? It's not a spider, it's not a snake, it's not porn, it's nothing. It's just good, clean, Egghead, Humpty Dumpty type stuff. So anyway, we love what Art Around the Corner does, and art, something I would maintain in the show, appeals to every person. I hope you'll go around and check it out in downtown St. George, and now at Dixie Regional Medical Center, who now have added, I believe, 5 sculptures on their campus inside and out. Recently, again, last year, led by Shane McAfee, the loop road up at Pioneer Park was repaved and some new parking put in. That is our most popular park. Interesting, isn't it? A natural park. Mayor Ivins, Mayor Hart knows this. Sometimes, the more you leave it alone, the more popular it is. We love the fact that people love getting up on our hills and getting near the river and enjoying this great outdoor part of St. George and our surrounding area. This is our All Abilities Thunder Junction All Abilities Park, where we added parking this year and some improved lighting and some other features. It proves to be very popular with people of all abilities and ages. Recently, you might have noticed that if you're a golfer, Dixie Red Hills Golf Course has a new clubhouse. We kind of feel like every 50 years or so, you ought to do that. Some of us a few years back got up in the top floor, which was not allowed actually, and you could go like this, and you could make it sway. I kid you not. So we're glad, Jimmy, aren't we? Now Brian, dealing with golf, we're glad that we have a new clubhouse. Appreciate all those who helped in that process. It's beautiful. It is an incredible gem of a golf course that would stack up against any. It's a little 9-hole course, first one in St. George. It won't be the last in the county, but it was the first one. Glad to have that, and there's the ribbon cutting with some of our folks and the Chamber Sunshiners there that day. Another big celebration recently when the county and the cities got to celebrate us winning the right to host the Ironman World Championship 70.3 in 2021. Kevin Lewis is here. Kevin, would you stand? I want everyone to know who Kevin is. Everyone pretty much knows. Kevin Lewis and his team and our county commissioners, Gil, Victor, and Dean, who would be here if he could today, thank you for the incredible job you do and the new branding of Greater Zion, sports tourism and all tourism. We appreciate the efforts. This is truly a county-wide event, and we are glad to be the host city, but others, Hurricane, Washington, Ivins, Santa Clara are all closely involved and affected, and it benefits us all. This is an incredible event. We're grateful to be able to say that in 2021 in September, when this is hosted, it will bring 7,000 athletes to town. It will bring a total of about 25,000 people. Is that about right, Kevin? Spectators and partners and so forth. And we're going to need all of your help, by the way. So we are enlisting you right now. You don't have to sign up today, but the school district is going to take a day off school so that we can all help. I guarantee you the city, the county, and other cities will be either changing the work day that day or having it be a sense working on the Ironman instead of our daily work. It's going to take all hands on deck, but it is worth it. Kevin, can you shout out, what do you think the economic impact of that event is? Wasn't it around, you know about $25 million. Should we do it? I think we should. And that was a decision, yeah. That was it's an incredible thing. In fact, it's our Olympics, folks. It really is. When you look at the number of athletes and you look at the economic impact, this is our Olympics. I don't think we're real likely to get any Olympics soon. So we're going to make hay while the sun shines with this. And like I say, we'll need everyone's help to make that a success. It's a fantastic honor. I don't want to say it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it's up there. It's an incredible feat to accomplish. Thank you for everyone involved. Just want to get you a little bit excited for this, so let's see if I can make this work.
Something truly magical is happening. Across the world, a beckoning call. It ripples in the waters. It rumbles from Earth's core. It rings from the mountaintops. Echoes off the rocks. And whispers through canyon walls. You know the feeling. You've experienced it before. You felt it inside. And you long for its return. It's a feeling that transcends time and space. It's woven through the fabric of cultures and civilizations. It is analyzed in legends and repeated in the stories of time. It comes in a moment and lasts for a lifetime. It is profoundly personal, yet universally shared. It beats in your heart, pumps through your veins, and pierces through the atmosphere. But it doesn't come by chance, and it doesn't come for free. The feeling is bred in sacrifice. It rises with desire, endures in effort, and grows through giving. Look inward, you'll feel it. Look upward, you'll see it soar. The feeling is coming, and it wants to be found.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure one of those cyclists was Mark Mortensen or Captain Sprague of the police department. But anyway, really exciting stuff coming ahead with the Ironman, and it's a great partnership that we have with them and the county. You might have noticed an upgrade and a new sign over on Bluff Street and the Boulevard, where we just simply try to use that as a chance to highlight city and community events. Communication is one of the things we're always striving to do more of. I just don't think you can over-communicate. Here's one way we do that. Appreciate Mark Mortensen and Sean Guzman for helping to make this happen, and Yesco for providing the sign. Well, we bought it, but they gave us a deal. So, we're back. In case you can't tell what this is the airport, the runway. We had an incredible project, obviously, last year. How many of you have flown on it since September? Left or came into St. George? Good. The rest of you do better. But I'm telling you, it's smooth. It's really smooth, and it dang well ought to be. So we thank JP Excavation for doing an incredible job with this. They are amazing. Judd Palmer, highly recommend him and his organization. In fact, they are winning awards, and our airport is winning an award, I think receiving one tomorrow, because of this incredible feat. It was done really early and on budget or under budget. fantastic job. Tough situation, but they did a great job. And while we were doing that, we made a few other little improvements inside that allow us to accommodate more people, along with TSA and more planes. As you can see through this fisheye view, thanks to Dave Becker, photographer, every night we have 5 planes sitting out back of the airport terminal, and more will come. If you use it, more will come. So keep it up. You should look to see, I predict you'll see additional flights to existing cities, existing destinations, and I hope in the next year maybe you'll see another destination. But Dallas-Fort Worth, which started the day we reopened, the end of September, is a great success, far exceeding what was expected by SkyWest and by the city and county. And by the way, thanks to the county and SkyWest for, again, partnering to help us as we launch some of these new destinations. So we've had fun. Last year, President Williams and I rode in. It was a gimmick. I know, Mayor Nielsen, I told you. No gimmicks today, but we rode in on scooters. Today you see the spin scooters, and you see the Zagster e-bikes and the Zagster e-bikes right here that they're launching right now, in addition to the regular bikes, all under the direction and operation of Zagster. With the scooters, we get $1 per day per operative scooter. That means in the last, when did we start? March 1st? March, we've received $100,000, which will be used to improve our trails and active transportation system. So thanks for using that. It's been very successful. We know it's always a little risky and tricky when you're doing things like this, but it's had great success and popularity, especially on and near Dixie State University's campus. So love the scooters, and we've had a chance to enjoy those as a family, the bikes and the scooters. A lot of fun. Hey, I see a campaign sign for Dixie State University's student body president there, Taylor Godfrey. Anyway, great partnership there. Most recently, a few months back, great partnership again with UDOT, Utah Department of Transportation, Dixie State University, 5-county Association of Governments, and City of St. George, as we together built this tunnel under I-15 for pedestrians and bikes and scooters. So it's a great opportunity to get students and all of us from one side of the freeway to the other, where there's other housing, where there's retail, and even where there's some college services over at the Taylor Health Science Building near and on the campus of Dixie Regional Medical Center. So great opportunity, and I predict we'll see more of these kinds of partnerships. Last year, we installed 6 new traffic signals, 4 of them on 3000 East. Crazy or what? The other 2 were on Formaster Drive and Medical Center Drive and at Dinosaur Crossing. More at 10 on that one. We had several members of our power department who were happy to participate in the Light Up Navajo project, which provides power to those in the Navajo Nation who until recently didn't have electricity. Great opportunity to help with many other power companies to do that. The wastewater treatment plant is first, this is one of those things, right, that you don't want to really hear about over lunch, but I'm telling you, you want this done. Scott Taylor, where are you? Raise your hand, our water department manager. This is a $70 million project. This is phase 1, almost complete. That thing that looks like a water slide, it ain't a water slide. This is not the water slide you're looking for. So there might be one of those someday, but this isn't it. But this is what you want done. It's planning for the future, and about nearly half of that will be paid for in cash, and the rest will be bonded or borrowed in some other low-interest way, and we're appreciative that Scott and his team helped make that happen. So when I go see the students in 3rd grade or in 12th grade, they all say the same thing. They want their toilets to flush every time. Who knew? So we're glad to have those things work so that we can enjoy it. Water conservation, Scott issued a challenge to our golf courses and said, you need to save 25% water. And so they started taking out sod, especially on the periphery, and having more desert scape. We want to do our part. We want to be a good model, a good example of how conservation, water conservation is very important to us. Along those lines, desert color this is how it looks today, or as of a couple of days ago. They, by the way, have really stepped forward and at the challenge of the city council and the mayor and city manager, they sharpened their pencils and they designed their landscape to be a great example for better desert scape. And in fact, to the extent they adopted the local scapes, landscape, and water conservation standards for their entire development. And what this means is that they will use 2/3 less water than traditional landscape. So I would like to have the Desert Color folks and their team stand up and let us recognize them. They have received an award for this, and I'm sure there will be more coming. Thank you, Desert Color. We appreciate it. You're going to love this incredible development. Dixie State University announced a while back that they're going Division I, and so with that came a lot of other needs, as well as their increasing enrollment. I'm privileged to be a trustee of Dixie State University and get to serve with my fellow trustees. This is what would you call this view? The interior, exterior view of the Human Performance Center. And you see that they have, you came by it, most of you, an Olympic-sized pool where there will be all kinds of swim meets. And I think it's the biggest and certainly the best one in Utah, right, President? And besides that, you will notice if you've toured the building before, all kinds of weight training equipment, exercise equipment, athletic courts, including basketball courts, and up on the roof, basketball courts and pickleball courts. If you see the lights up there, it's because there's a lot of students up there having fun and being active. Again, their mantra, similar to the cities, theirs is active life, active learning. Or did I say it backwards? Backwards. Active learning, active life. Ours is optimism and activity. So appreciate all that the president and his team has done. Of course, there are classrooms in that building too, because they do have health occupations, and we're excited about some of those new programs that they have. Recently, the president and his team also dedicated the Atwood Innovation Plaza. I want to just personally thank Lindsay Atwood and Laura Atwood for their incredible financial and other support to making this happen. If we could just give a round of applause to the late Lindsay Atwood and his wife, Laura. This is where the rubber meets the road in terms of economic development, entrepreneurship. We want to build the companies, build the talent, and keep the talent and keep the companies and let them grow right here in St. George. I love what they're doing. And now a few more things happening ahead. We're going to expand after 40 years. City Hall isn't big enough. We will be doing some expansion. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but we're going to add on to City Hall. We're going to add on to the police station, and we're going to move the 911 dispatch center across the street into what used to be an old courtroom, and that is underway now. We will actually, that's a rendering of the new 911 dispatch center. That's kind of a bird's eye view of the new parking, double-decker parking plaza that will be to the west of City Hall. And then you can see that is the new north face of City Hall with a new entryway to be able to facilitate, and I promise there will be desert landscaping. It won't just be red pavement right there. But to accommodate this, and don't hold us to the colors or the light fixtures, but this is the idea of when you walk into City Hall, you will be greeted with what we call our Customer Service 311 Center. These will be people in person and on the phone who will be able to handle all kinds of problems, a variety of problems, questions, and needs of our citizens. So it's a new concept. We're excited to unveil as we accomplish this. We will very soon that's the police department and where it's going to expand to the east. And we will soon move, probably about the 1st of April, some of our employees to the former Spectrum building. They're no longer there. We will be leasing that for a year to a year and a half with most of our, especially customer service related employees. So it's very nearby where we currently are located. And this is called what I call the Lowney building. The owner is John Lowney. We will be leasing that. I think that's where I'm going to be with City Council and Adam and others in administrative functions. So we'll be there right across the street from the old hospital on 3rd East and 6th South. So temporary homes while we facilitate the renovation and expansion of City Hall starting about April. Back to Dixie State University, can't underestimate or undervalue the value of science, engineering, and technology. And that's what the university and the state are investing in with this new building that if you came here today, you see them working on it, broke ground a while back. And next, the Campus View Suites, student housing 2. This is the second building that will house 534, did I get that right, Paul and President, students in this incredible building. Right there, it will replace Shiloh, the Shiloh dorms that are, I'm sure, over 50 years old. And then you'll see eventually Nyson Towers there on the corner. They'll be replaced eventually. The way the president and this university goes, I'll bet you that happens in another 5 years. We'll see. So incredible on-campus housing. There's a view of the courtyard, if you will. It's going to be fantastic for students. The university has grown almost 18% enrollment over the last year from spring to spring. It's incredible growth. Let's give Dixie State a round of applause. This year, and probably it'll take us 18 months, we'll be working on a new general plan for the city. This is where we lay out, with your help and a consultant guiding us, the land use for redevelopment and initial development in the areas of our city. It'll take all hands on deck to do this, folks, and we'd love to have your input as we do that. Again, probably take us about 18 months to do. Part of that will involve a very fine look at the between Main Street and Bluff Street, south of 700 South to the freeway. We'll be taking a very fine look at that, sharp look at that to try to help facilitate redeveloping that with all the right kinds of uses. Tech Ridge, another huge economic development thing that we're working on. Isaac Barlow and Ryan Weedig, I know you're here. Would you stand? I'd like to recognize you. Where are you guys? There's Isaac Barlow. Ryan Weedig. I saw Ryan. Are you still here? He might have had to have left already, but incredible things going on up there. First of all, you notice that Printer Logic, which is Ryan Weedig and Jarrett Taylor's company, great tech company. We want them to stay here. We want them to be able to thrive here. And in doing so, I think they'll be able to do that with this concept of a tech ecosystem atop Tech Ridge. So that's their building. What you're seeing there, it's not entirely that, but that concrete encased is their gym, their basketball gym, right in the middle of their building. And so it's an exciting new way of looking at work. And so there's kind of a rendering that Isaac's put together for us. Isaac is with both Busy, and he is with Tech Ridge LLC, who is the project leader and the owner of this, so far about 15 acres atop the old airport ridge. So what you see is, there's Ryan's building, Printer Logic, and this will be Busy and others tenant in this building, which will be started on the heels of the Printer Logic building. What you see behind those buildings are high-density housing, as well as retail, potential hotel, restaurant, and other entertainment types of things, including this interior look where there's a pavilion kind of in there. That'll be actually some public space that we'll all get to enjoy, in addition to eventually the paved walking path, bike path, that will go around the entire perimeter of the bluff. So we're excited about this, glad to see it happening. There's a new access road that will soon begin to be constructed on the southwest side of the bluff, and then hopefully in the next year or two, we'll have another access road coming up near Black Ridge Drive and near Bluff Street going up the southeast side of the Bluff. So those things coming to make sure we have plenty of access in the future. Want to highlight just a few things. We're focusing on attainable housing. Chirlane Quail, where are you? Chirlane Quail is over economic development and housing for St. George and is doing an incredible job of leading us in this effort. So here's an example of an at-market townhome development. It's called Blackhawk. It's on the corner of Curly Hollow and Tonic Drive. A fantastic 90-unit development which offers another price point in that area of attainable housing. It's market, but you'll see this other project is actually targeted for the extremely low and chronically homeless individuals. This is a 55-unit project called Riverwalk, right down by the river next to the Greyhawk at Market apartment complex. This is owned and will be operated by Friends of Switchpoint. They're doing an incredible job. The City of St. George has seen that with what they've done with Switchpoint Community Resource Center, and we've partnered with them, donated the land as well as capital to help get this going. 55 units. Most of those are sliding scale or, for low-income individuals. There will be about 13 units that are market rate units to help pay the bills. It's a fantastic opportunity. We look for more of this to help us with attainable housing. And just wanted to highlight that a great project not far from where we just left off. This is Revere Health, some good friends of mine on my other side of life. Revere is headquartered in Provo and have already some existing providers here, but they will be building this new facility. It's already up. You can see in the background. They've got steel, and they're building 68,000 square feet. It will have an urgent care component, family practice, orthopedics, cardiology and vein, physiatry, and physical therapy, imaging, including MRI, CAT scan, mammography, X-ray, ultrasound, fluoroscopy. They'll have their own lab, and they should be open in October. Looking forward to having them in this new location. Right now they're kind of spread around the community and they don't have all those ancillary services. It's going to be fantastic for that area of town and still close by the hospital and good transportation routes. Commerce Point they announced this at the Economic Summit. Does anyone remember kind of one of the key tenants at Commerce Point? This is Black Ridge Drive and Bluff Street area. Chick-fil-A is what everyone got excited about, but there will be lots of other tenants there. Looking forward to that. They're breaking ground officially tomorrow, I believe, at 10 o'clock. Looking forward to that. 3000 East, need you to know, we are not taking our eye off the ball when it comes to infrastructure, especially things like transportation. 3000 East will be widened so that it is essentially a 5-lane road all the way from Bandit Hills Drive near the back entrance to the airport all the way down to Mall Drive. Some of that is already done. You'll see the rest of it done over the next likely 3 years. You'll see a significant expansion there this year. It's expensive. There's water we got to deal with, power lines and all kinds of stuff, property ownership, but we are working on that now. Cameron Cutler, raise your hand, is our Public Works Director. Thank you for leading the way there, Cameron, and your team. I want to mention this also in Cameron's wheelhouse, pardon the pun. We'll be installing several new traffic signals this year, including one at Snow Canyon Parkway and 1400 West, as well as one likely at Two Weep and Sunset, right on the border of St. George and Santa Clara by the Sand Hollow Aquatic Center. Also one at Morningside and Riverside Drive by Heritage Elementary, if you know that one, and probably a roundabout traffic circle also on Snow Canyon Parkway. And what's the street, Sean Guzman? 2000 North. He knows because he lives close by there. So anyway, lots still to come in terms of traffic devices and widening of roads there. Now, if any of you ever see this, I'm sure this isn't in St. George. It is. It's River Road and the Boulevard. We realize there are times when it is this bad. We don't want it to be this bad very often. And so, again, under Cameron's direction and also with the county and the 5-county, we are working together and with other cities on the northern corridor. We need this road, folks. I need you to know that we need this road. I'm totally serious. If you look north and you see problems with traffic, it's because they didn't do this kind of planning. This northern corridor, north of town, has been on the master plan since the early 1990s. We don't have to have it today, but we've got to be planning for it, and we've got to have it soon. Please don't be worried about us developing houses and buildings around it. That is not what this is. This is really kind of, for lack of a better word, a parkway or a belt route to get people from I-15 at Mayor Kenny Nielsen. Where are you, Kenny? There he is again. From exit 13, Washington Parkway, back down to Red Hills Parkway. That red line you see is kind of the preferred route that moves the most cars and keeps them out of 70 intersections. Okay? It's a big deal. And so if you have a chance to voice your support for this, I hope you will. We're currently studying the going through an environmental impact process. And so you'll hear more about this, but this is important to the future if we want to avoid gridlock and double the delays that you might see at the peak times now, and worse pollution because of idling and waiting times. So please understand that as we look at these things, we are really trying to do so with all of us and with our future generations in mind. That reminds me of the Transportation Expo, which is next week. Please come and you can learn all about this. It's free. It's at the Dixie Center from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And from 12 to 6, there will be one of the UDOT autonomous vehicles there if you want to go take a ride in a car driven by nobody. So please come. Hope you'll enjoy that. You can learn all about all the planned projects of the county, all around the county at the Expo. Last couple things, Suntran. It is not the only answer for our transportation issues, but it is part of the answer. We need to expand Suntran. Mayor Nielsen, what are we going to do with you here soon, say in the next couple months? Right. So we have the agreement signed, and it will be done. We have a bus. We found one laying around. And we have a bus, and we're hiring the bus drivers. We'll be starting that this spring, a new route going through Washington. Appreciate that. Let's give Washington a round of applause for doing that. It will help many people, and it does help us get cars off the road. And the more robust our transit system gets, the more it will help those issues. I also want to recognize Mayor Chris Hart and Ivans, because you may not all know, we already have a route that goes to Ivans. It's what they call a commuter route. It doesn't stop many places, but it's great for the people that need it. Right, Mayor? So the mayor of Santa Clara, Mayor Rosenberg, couldn't be here today. He's already said we want to start talking. So we will see over the next few years as our transit funding has and will increase here due to the sales tax for transit and transportation that was approved recently. We will be able to expand within St. George as well, and we look forward to doing that. I want to just mention that starting March 1st through May, we are going to waive the riding fee for Suntran, because we want each of you to go give it a try. How many of you have not ridden Suntran before? That's what I was afraid of. So, and obviously, not all of us are going to be able to do this every day. I understand. Maybe it won't come near our house. But I would like to issue you all a challenge as business leaders and the like here. I would like to challenge you to go and ride Suntran somewhere. Give it a try. Tell us what you think. And what we'd love to see you do is take a selfie and post it on social media, #Suntran, and let us know what you'd like to see us do, because we will be expanding Suntran beyond Washington and Santa Clara and Ivins will be doing it within St. George, because currently we probably only serve about half of our geography just in St. George. So we know we need to do it, but we want your feedback as we do that. So March 1st through May, Suntran is free. We want you to use it. Will you accept the challenge? Go take a ride on the bus. They used to say up north, save the fuss, ride the bus. So let's try it. Give us a chance to hear from you and know what you think about that. Thank you, and I appreciate Suntran being willing to do that. Let's give Cameron Cutler again, who's over Suntran, a round of applause. Now, similarly, the Lake Powell pipeline, probably a year from right now, we'll have a record of decision from the federal government, the Bureau of Reclamation, on whether that project is approved. I believe it will be. I believe, again, like the Northern Corridor, it is absolutely necessary. We can't do it at just any cost, but I believe it will come in with the cost, within the cost that we can pay for it. And in fact, it will be the most affordable way to gain 82,000 acre-feet of water, effectively doubling our capacity to serve the future generations of Washington County. We, in my opinion, must have it. And so, again, please understand and be involved. Get all the information you can so that you can understand what this will mean to have a second source, to diversify our water portfolio, and to expand it. It does not substitute for the need to further conserve water. We must do that too, and we will. And we're leading the way. In fact, Washington County met the governor's goals to reduce water consumption by 25%. We beat everyone. We first of all had the first plan of anyone, but then we beat everyone. In fact, we're at about 30% reduction over the last 10 years since the governor's been in office. So we've got to do both. It's critical. The census is coming up. Please make sure you respond to that. It helps us, obviously, with our representation in Washington, D.C. and at the state capitol. The fire department, I teased that earlier, wanted you to know, again, we'll be building the Little Valley Fire Station number 9, and then we'll need to hire 9 more firefighters. Adam's going to figure out how to do that. And so that's coming up soon. And this is the Southgate Clubhouse, revisited with MRW Design rendering this. We want to expand it, bring food back, and have it be nice. It needs to be remodeled. That'll be helping. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, President, but we're going to have this be kind of the home of the Trailblazers. In partnership with Dixie State, this will be their course, our course, but they'll partner with us, help us make some improvements to the driving range and so forth. We look forward to that, President. Again, active learning, active life at Dixie State University. And likewise, at St. George Golf Club in Bloomington Hills, we plan to redo this clubhouse. Don't look too closely at the wood trim. That's because it needs to be replaced. And so we will be doing this and looking for private partners to help us and maybe even be a clubhouse/reception center with those beautiful views in Bloomington Hills. We're putting a new top on the Sand Hollow Aquatic Center. We've been saving money for this. The 15-year roof is now at 20 years. It's time to replace it. That'll be done by the end of April. And while we're doing that, we'll redo the locker rooms. Great facility. Pleased to be able to be in partnership with Ivins and Santa Clara in that facility. Thank you, Mayor. And let's see. Maybe one more little video if we can get this to work. Recently, we were out at the Bear Claw Poppy Trail, and by the way, Dixie State students were there volunteering on Martin Luther King Day to help with the trailhead. And this is a very popular thing in our community. Again, one that brings in people from near and far, and we hope that people have a chance to use those and to use them responsibly so we can protect those key habitat areas. Hope to see more of that in conjunction with future development, and we're seeing it in places like Desert Color and Desert Canyon over on the south side of town. The missing link, Kenny, this is so Mayor Nielsen and I, there he is, can ride our bikes from Sun River through his town into Washington. There's about, mile and a half portion that currently you have to pop out onto Riverside Drive at a very busy stage that is currently under construction, again in partnership with the county and Greater Zion, UDOT, because they believe in active transportation, and the city of St. George. This is in the works now. Part of it will be a boardwalk like yours, Mayor, along those sensitive areas right in the river, and the rest of it will be trail right along the river that will connect our two cities with the paved trail. Fantastic opportunity, and we won't stop there, will we, commissioners? We're hoping to get clear to Springdale eventually. So it'll be a great opportunity for recreation and tourism. Just another shout out to the Ironman. We will be doing a full Ironman in May of this year. The first time we've done that since 2012. We're excited for that opportunity. Next year, we'll do a 70.3 Ironman, which is the national one, in May, and then we'll do the worldwide championship in September. That, again, a 70.3 Ironman, and that's the world championship. So we have a great relationship with Kevin Lewis and the county, and with the Ironman organization. Hope you'll be there to support it. Our own event, 44th year of the St. George Marathon, 26.2 miles. Fantastic. But we're looking at that, and we're saying we probably need a sister race, and so we're going to start a 13.1, a half marathon, on the same day. We will do that starting this year. We are also looking at, you might have known, have done an RFP to see if there are organizations that would be interested in partnering with us to help run the St. George Marathon. Not saying we'll do it, but we believe as a city council and city manager that we ought to be looking occasionally at things that should be or could be outsourced to better serve either on a fiduciary level or just better serve the public. We'll see how that works. If nothing else, we've already got some great ideas that we will utilize if we still keep it within house. Well, the next few months we'll follow what we did last year, and we're going to bring the city to each of you through a series of open houses, neighborhood open houses. The first one is at Sun River at the end of this month. You can see the other ones, one at Vernon Wortham Park in April, and then South Mountain Community Church in Little Valley, and then in October, 2450 East Park. This is where we have members of our team there, all of our different departments, to answer questions and to tell people what's going on. So we're excited to do that again this year. It's good for us, better communication. And again, finally, we appreciate that the Chamber hosts this every year. I think it's a great service. And so thank you to Don Willey, our new executive director and president of the Chamber. It's a great partnership that we and the other cities have, all of our cities in the county have with the Chamber. We also appreciate his team, Carissa Akrish and Tammy Zimmerman. And I think there is one other person they'll be hiring soon. So good to have this partnership. It is a high privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to serve as the mayor and to serve with each of you, all of you, in one way or another. This is the best city on earth to live, work, play, and remember, dine in. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. It really is each of you that makes our city and makes our future brighter. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.